welcome in from Hawaii. Good morning and welcome on the start to the day here. We're just kicking out of the truck stop and we're getting rolling. Should have been rolling a little bit sooner, but that's kind of how Mondays go. We are in southeastern Minnesota. We are just leaving Austin, Minnesota, and we got to go up to Minneapolis, Minnesota to deliver. Got a full load of recycling on. That's kind of my 9 to 5. I'm a dedicated driver and I haul recycling. So right now we're sitting at like 79, 940, just right on the line for 80,000. Yeah, I always do. I'm up there twice a day. So it always gets interesting. You never know what you're really going to run into. Hawaii sounds like a really nice place to go to right about now. Temperature around here can't make up its mind, so we're back into the 30-40s today. Yeah, can't say there's much to Minnesota. There's not a whole lot to the state, to be honest with you. Oh, I bet it would be. I know you guys get low temps at some point, but I can't imagine when you're used to the weather you have year round and then all of a sudden you get smacked with, cold temps. Yeah, up here it fluctuates a lot. We just had a blizzard not even a week ago and more than a foot of snow on the ground, and all of a sudden it's gone. Yep, back hauling more recycling. We had a really long day Thursday and Friday. Wound up running some cement loads. And yeah, let's just say it was a lot longer of a day than I expected. So I didn't wind up working anything on Friday. Took the weekend off and now we're back to it, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. But this time I'll be ready. I'll have my microphone and everything with me so that when I'm in a different truck, I can get you guys on. We can do a live stream doing some unloading of silica sand. And yeah, it's a whole different animal when you're running powder. I like my recycling. It's simplistic. It's easy. Nope. Nope. Nobody hauled my loads on Friday, so I got 3 of them today, which that means I'm going to burn up my 16 on a freaking Monday. Not the way I wanted to start my week, but yeah, we got 3. I got 2 out of Albert Lee, Minnesota, and then I still got to bounce down to Mason City, Iowa and pick up another loaded. So that's why I wanted to get started going early, but even though I got up at 2, I didn't leave town till 3 because let's just say I took a chunk of meat out of my hand by my thumb. So right now that's wrapped with electrical tape. So it's been a Monday for sure. It's been a freaking Monday. Oof. I wouldn't want to be down there during the rain, I can tell you that. Yeah, it's just, it's almost to be expected in this industry, to be honest. I'm the only one that hauls recycling. So, yeah, usually if I'm not working, nobody's hauling my stuff, and I'm like, hey guys, can someone, you know, move one of my trailers, please? Because otherwise, it just screws up my week. I either got to run 3 of them today, or at some point this week, I'm probably going to have to run 3 of them. So I'm like, well, maybe I just get it done with, get my buildings caught up, call it good. But we'll see what times are today. I'm getting a little behind starting out this morning, so I'm not entirely sure what all I'm going to get done today, but yeah, it's been a weekend. You're right there. By far it is. Recycling doesn't stop, and unfortunately at times I do. I could sneeze and both my buildings could be absolutely overflowing with recycling. And actually, I'm not even kidding, that did legitimately happen, where I was gone for like 7 hours on a Tuesday morning, came back to work, one of my buildings was actually overflowing, and I was like, dude, come on, I was gone for 7 freaking hours, you gotta be crapping me. Like, what is this? Couldn't believe it. Yeah, that's the weeks that I wind up running, you know, 70 to 80 hours a week instead of my normal like 55 to 70. So I'm sure that this week is already going to be, I'm already looking at a minimum of 60, and that's if everything goes smooth. To fill one building, generally, it's going to come down to the recycling truck and how much they have on. So the recycling truck will come to the transfer facility, they'll scale in, dump, and then scale out. And usually they're dumping between like 10 to 15 tons. And the building can probably handle probably 220,000 pounds worth of recycling before it's like out the door. And that's about 3 loads for me. We push my trailers pretty much 80,000 every time. So, you know, try to maximize the amount I'm taking out of there. And yeah, it'll take 3 trailers to empty that building. So, you know, 80,000 times 3 is about what it takes to fill the thing up. Up in the cities, the Twin Cities where we're going, that building can handle a couple million pounds before it's full. But if you've looked back at any of my my YouTube shorts of delivering up there when it's full, I mean, they stack recycling in there like 30, 40, 50 feet high inside that facility. And it's nuts. It's a little scary when you're walking between that and your trailer, and imagine a loader is on the other side of that and pushes it. I would be buried in recycling. That's why I always walk like right next to my trailer, so if I have to, I can kind of try and tuck and roll underneath it. Same thing if I ever ran into a moose in the wild, which I did a few times in Canada. And yeah, that was always my game plan, was like, well, I'll just get under the trailer and maybe it'll go okay. I'm not the guy that's like, yeah, I'm gonna fight it. No. That won't work. So I am driving a company truck, but I have a lot of freedom with this truck, I should say. My boss has allowed me to do quite a few things to it. Like Shifter is extended by 6 inches. I have a different shifter knob. He let me install my own CV that I like. And he's just kind of let me do a lot to it, but I also do a lot of work to my truck at home. So it's kind of the trade-off for it. But welcome on in. Thanks for checking it out this morning. Should have a pretty easy breezy drive here up into the cities. We'll have a little bit heavier traffic once we get up there, just because we're starting a little later than I wanted to, but that's all right. That's just how it's going today. I really wasn't sure I was even going to get up this morning. Like, I wore myself out working on my pickup and stuff yesterday. I really got to watch it on Sundays, because Monday morning, if I have a load ready, I try to get going at 1:30, 2 a.m., especially on the days where I know I got 3 loads that I probably need to get done. Because by the time I do my last load up to the cities, we're going to be in the evening rush hour traffic. And that traffic is horrible. And to do it on my last load is even worse. When I get up there tonight, I'll probably do a live stream of it for sure, so you guys can check out some of the worst traffic. It's definitely a different style of operation. I've talked to a few guys on my live streams that operate out in California, and yeah, it's very different from larger cities. So the cities I service, Mason City, Iowa, probably has the most population for the two. But yeah, we just rotate trailers, and then I'll haul them. So I've already got 2 loaded trailers sitting and waiting, plus the one that's sitting on me right now. So I go up, empty at the cities, bring it back down, swap, grab another loaded, take it up to the cities. So generally I always have a load ready. Some days it just kind of depends. I've got a feeling we're going to start picking up a little bit of flow. So like when it starts getting really busy, that's when I'm not able to really keep up. And I say that as in physically, I can't run the truck fast enough to actually keep up. But then when it's really slow, I wind up doing like 1 load a day, and that's where I go and jump into another truck and do concrete powder or hydrated lime, fly ash, silica sand. So that's where I kind of get to bounce around a little bit. That's why I have videos up of unloading concrete powder. I wind up in a different truck, so I don't have any of my stuff with me to do like live streams or anything like that. So I just wind up doing shorts of what I'm doing. But I don't think I'm going to have time to do anything else this week. Messing around. There's definitely days where I question if I need a little something extra to keep going. That sounds awful. I probably won't be responding to you anymore, my friend. Sorry. I'm looking at Mason City right now. Yeah, that actually sounds about right. I don't know their entire infrastructure with how they operate their recycling centers. The one recycling center that I have, that I operate for, is just on the outskirts of Mason City. And it's simply because to try and take one of my trailers through Mason City would be awful. It probably wouldn't go very well. So, real quick on that, the reason I'm saying about the responding thing is because I don't do a lot for like inappropriate content on this channel. I do have kids that come on here and watch my live streams, which is why I really try to watch my language. So that's kind of the deal. So generally, I keep my conversations fairly strict to certain things. You know, that's why I generally don't talk about politics, or, you know, if I talk about the driving industry, it's in a non-discriminatory way. That's just kind of how I try to roll with this channel. If I came on here and like started cracking out my dark humor, I'd be kicked off this thing pretty quick. Yes, I am aware. It doesn't matter how many viewers I actually have on here. That's not what I go for. This is not a political channel. No, I don't get into politics. It doesn't make any difference to me to get into politics. I could sit here and talk about it all day. At the end of the day, it's not going to change a thing. So, yeah, I haul out of Mason City, Iowa. Generally, I get like 2 or 3 loads out of there a week, unless for some reason they start running heavy. The thing about Mason City is that it's just far enough away to where it makes it difficult to keep it up if it starts getting overflown. Albert Lee is the one that fills up the fastest for me, and that's why I have 3 trailers that run pretty much consistently. And most days I have 2 loads out of there, so that's where I get kind of screwed with trying to keep up. Yeah, that would make, yeah, so I wonder if they have their own sorting facility as well there. That would probably make a lot of sense if they do their own sorting. I can't remember all the places that come to where I haul out of in Mason City. There's a few places in Mason City and around Mason City that haul to my transfer station. We are in Minnesota. We're southeastern Minnesota right now, making our way to the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's alright, I'm trying to respond to names, but I can't, just simply because I can't read my screen. So essentially I'm picking up everything that's coming through my ear, but I can't kind of keep track. Surrounding states for Minnesota: Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin. I'm guessing so, because there's definitely weeks where there's not a lot that's coming out of there. Oh, I know. Yeah, the Minnesota roads are, I might as well be in Iowa driving on the gravel at most of them. The little town we just went through, Their roads are awful, and they have been like that for years. It would be amazing if they got it fixed, but I don't know when it's going to happen. That's kind of how everything is around here. So we're just heading up to the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then I have to bounce down to Mason City, Iowa, pick up my full load there, take that up to the cities, deliver it, and then bounce back down to Albert Lea, swap yet again, and take another loaded trailer up to the Twin Cities today. So I've got 3 of them. So we're really not going to be stopping for anything today. I might have to stop for fuel, and that's about it. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I grew up in Wisconsin, but yeah, I've definitely got the accent now. I've lived up here for 8 years. It's something with the O's. Like, you just... I think it's a cult thing. They just kind of rope you in. All of a sudden, you're talking about moose, and yeah, you wake up and all of a sudden you're wearing a flannel jacket and boots. I'm not even kidding. I actually have a few flannels. That's like, it's nuts. There was snow. We had a blizzard roll through not even a week ago. We had negative temperatures last Sunday through Tuesday, and like over a foot of snow laying on the ground here. And over the weekend, it got up to 75 degrees, and it's all gone. Oh, no, I grew up in Wisconsin. I'm not driving there today. Wisconsin trips are far and few between. Oh, I know, it's nuts. The weather is nuts. I live in Minnesota. I grew up in Wisconsin, but I've lived in Minnesota for the past 8 years now. Yeah, that's why, the weather-wise, that's why I didn't work on Saturday. I was going to do crap outside, and it was like 75 degrees. It was like, there's just no way. So I worked all day yesterday outside, and that was pretty decent. Yeah, the weather up here has been really chaotic. This year for weather has just been something else. But I'll take the dry roads. I'd rather it be, 30, 40 degrees out and dry roads than the crap we've had so far. Once we get through this small town, we'll drop a gear and we'll start going a little bit here. Usually I'm up in the cities by 3:30 in the morning. Obviously that's not happening today. So we're gonna get up there probably closer to 5 a.m., which I imagine we're going to get stuck in line when we get up there too. You know, I was kind of wondering, I haven't really like dove into trying to find more walking floor guys around here, but I mean, I'm glad that I did do this. I didn't even know what a walking floor. That was something new for me, to be honest. I think gas is getting up to about $4 a gallon around here. All right. Going to kick that guy out for a little bit here. Too early in the morning for it. Yeah, price of gas has got to be getting about $4 a gallon. Both my vehicles are diesel, so my semi and my pickup are both diesel. And I can tell you now, to fill the tanks in my semi was about $550. So it's, and I don't have big tanks on this truck. Like, the tanks on my truck are 80-gallon tanks, so I can, you know, hold 160 gallons worth. And yeah, the last time I filled up, I put in like 115 gallons, and it was around $540 for it. So it's definitely going up. For some reason, the fuel where I live is higher. So I try to fill up when I'm down in Iowa, more or less, with the semi. The pickup, I don't drive it very often, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. But the last time I filled up the pickup from empty, yeah, it was about $100. I mean, it's got a 38-gallon tank on it. But welcome in, everybody. Good morning. Good Monday morning. Can't say it's been a great Monday morning, but we're surviving. We're surviving, trying to. I took a nice chunk out of the palm of my hand today. So I got my thumb, at the base of my thumb, wrapped up with electrical tape, because that was bleeding a little good. Pulled out a piece of metal from my other hand, and yeah, had about an hour delay this morning trying to get going. So it's been a start to the day. And we're definitely going to be running a long day today. What, the electrical tape? I've got a Band-Aid on underneath it, but it's just in a really bad spot. That's why I had to wrap it with electrical tape too. But since I was doing everything yesterday, I mute you. Yeah. I'm terrified over here, just shaking like a leaf. If you're the same dude that was in here that was already trolling me, you can piss off, man. I ain't doing that shit today. again, this isn't a political account. I am a truck driver. So for you to come in here and try and troll me literally makes no sense. You got how many other people you can go and fucking bug and disturb, but nah, you're gonna jump on here and just be stupid? Like, alright. And I mean, sure, you can come to my house. Let me know how that pans out. Got a lot more in my history than just driving truck. But to all the other people that are in here and decent, yeah, all we're just doing 3 loads up to the Twin Cities today. We'll see how everything kind of pans out with traffic. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty much the same old, same old. A lot of flow, a lot of crap like that. Hey, the cool thing about opinions is everyone's allowed to have them. You know, like how my opinion in your grammar is crap. Man, you really have nothing better to do in life. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. Oh, I know. It's something interesting. Beautiful thing is natural selection always finds a way. That's the good news. But when you have literally nothing better to do than troll a truck driver, you're really scratching the bottom of the barrel. Like you're absolutely scratching the bottom of the barrel. Oh. Alright. Goodbye. Yeah, we ain't dealing with that today. Never quite understood that. You know, it takes literally nothing to just be a decent person today. You know, even a simple gesture of kindness takes literally 0 effort. It takes more effort to be a dick to someone else because you actually have to think. We are heading up to the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, Minnesota here this morning. Got a full load of recycling sitting right at 80,000 pounds here this morning. And yeah, we got 3 of them today. Yep, this is generally my Monday through Friday, unless I'm short on loads and I can kind of rework them around to where I have a free day. Then I generally go over to Rochester, jump into a different truck, and I go and haul concrete, powder, or whatever else. Kinda. So the good news is it didn't get as bad as I was expecting it to get. a lot of the protesting stuff that was up there when I was going through was all up on the overpasses around us. The only odd experience I had was, I think there was one day that all the on and off ramps to the interstate through the Twin Cities were blocked. So you could like roll through, but you could not exit or enter the interstate from the freeway. I wasn't quite sure what they had going on. I think it was security detail for JD Vance when he came to Minneapolis, but that was about the only thing that I really experienced up there. You as well, have a wonderful day. Drive safe, and above all, get home safe. Oh, I try to every day. It never fails. There's always something going on, especially in the Twin Cities. Very happy to hear that. I've had quite a few friends that were in, quite a few buddies that were in. I got some experience from the Marines, but I never got to go through all the way, unfortunately. I got medically discharged while I was in boot camp. It's not too bad. We're sitting in about, I think we're in the 30s right now, so it's actually been pretty decent. Yesterday was like 40 something, around 40 degrees with the wind blowing. It was a little colder, but otherwise it's actually been pretty decent up here. Semper Fi. Yeah, I had gotten quite a bit of experience in the Marines, but unfortunately, I was not allowed to return back to training, and I got sent home, or well, medically discharged, and that's kind of where my story ended with it. So I never got to do the beach run. I never got to climb Mount Motherfucker. It's unfortunate. My MOS was 0311. I was a Delta 1st Battalion. I was originally going to be an MP, but they said since I couldn't tell the difference between my greens and my browns, I couldn't be an MP. So they're like, do you want to be a cook or a lineman? And I was like, all right, I guess a lineman. Like, I guess I'd rather go out on the front line than try to learn how to cook. There's just no way that was gonna happen. Yeah, I was out in MTRD San Diego in 2017. Loved it out there. I mean, yeah, outside of getting my ass kicked every day, but you know. Oh God, yeah. The last time I loaded out of Texas, I was in a port in Houston loading a bed of steel out of a steel mill, and oh my God, that was probably one of the worst experiences of heat and humidity that I've ever had. Oh, you don't have to thank me. No, I didn't get to earn the title, so I don't really count what I did as service. I count it as a vacation with getting my ass kicked. Yeah, the humidity down in Texas, that's something else. Like, you know, a dry heat is one thing, but good Lord, when you throw in 100% of humidity, it is brutal. Oh yeah, no, I have nothing to hide about my experience with the Marines. I never earned the title. I'm not gonna sit here and tell people that I did or try to claim that I'm a veteran. No. Nope, I got my ass kicked by my kill head, herniated 3 of my discs, and wound up in the separation platoon. Well, I wound up in medical platoon first. Stuck there for a while, and then basically they're like, oh yeah, you can walk, you're good to go. And I was like, cool, do I get to go back to training? And they're like, haha, no. Which, in all honesty, it's probably a better thing, because once my back went, the corpsman that checked me out before I went to medical said, you realize your MOS, you're going to be humping up hills and mountains with a 90-pound rucksack on your back, right? And I was like, well, I mean, if I get healed up, I'll be good to go, right? He's like, I don't know about that. And then, yeah, I had to go sit down with some higher commander for the Navy over there. And that's when they kind of made the decision of, no, you're going to be medically discharged. And then I went and sat in the medical platoon. There's actually a Christmas video of MCRD San Diego medical platoon. I wasn't in the video, but I did get to see a few of the buddies that I had in there, and it kind of blew my mind that, you know, I got to see them on YouTube myself. But once I dropped the separation platoon, that's when it was just constantly getting my ass kicked, IT'd. I mean, we changed like 2 drill instructors within 3 weeks because we had 3 kids commit suicide in our squad bay. That was interesting. Like, you stick, you know, 60-something kids in one squad bay, all getting medically discharged or all getting, you know, discharged for one thing or another. And yeah, shit happens in there. But oh, now that's unfair. That would have been wild. That movie would have been replaying in my head so many times. I probably wouldn't have been able to hold my laughter. I would have been having my ass kicked so much. I can feel the punches hitting my gut right now from freaking laughing. Oh my God. So here's a good one. I have horrible handwriting, and for some reason I was made scribe in the beginning. And I remember the drill instructor coming out, and he's like, and pardon my language, but he's like, who the fuck is our scribe? And I was like, you know, I was like, sir, this shit recruit, sir. And he comes over to me and he goes, do you have good handwriting? Like, sir, no, sir. He's like, then why the fuck are you scribe? Sir, you told me to be the scribe. And then I got IT'd. And I was like, come on, man. I was like, hell no. Hell no. I mean, you got good perks being a scribe. You get some good perks. You ain't got to wake up for fire watch, you know, which is great. You do get perks, but it was just like, man, that freaking sucks. God, double fire watch for like 3 nights after that. And of course, it wasn't like in the middle of the night so I could go back to bed and sleep. Nah, it was right before, you know, we had to get up anyways. So, you know, that just sucks. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. It was kind of fun to watch the drill instructors screw with people, and oh, so many memories. But I've got a few buddies that went through and stuff. It's just, yeah, I don't really get to share a lot of the experiences they went through. Which, don't get me wrong, might not be the worst. I did have a buddy that was stuck out in Okinawa, and he was telling me about the shit they went through out there. You know, 6 by 12 wall or concrete walls around you, and you either drank or worked out. And I was like, that sounds brutal. 93, nice. That's awesome. Oh god, I would love to see what the difference was between 93 to 2017. I will say though, we were still using the same water jugs. I think my water jug was probably from the 60s or 70s. You know, they just made it take bleach, rinse it really good with bleach, go into the head and rinse it out, and that was our freaking water jug. You still couldn't drink out of the water fountains. You had to fill up your water jug. And I mean, I can't imagine a whole lot of change. Probably some of the vehicles were different from then to 2017, but yeah, it was something else. No, I do wish I could have got to go back through it. I mean, now I'm almost 30 and both my feet have reconstructed. I've had to do a lot of crap for my back. My right hand's kind of fucked up. So you can imagine why I got back into driving. I was an EMT for a year, but yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, I love doing the job, just people are freaking heavy, man. Especially when they're unconscious. I mean, it's no different than, so a side rant, I also work on call as a coroner for my town. So I'm a coroner assistant. My neighbor is the assistant director for the funeral home in my town. So every now and then he'll call me up for, you know, say he's got a deceased person in an awkward position in a bathroom, or, you know, they're just heavy. He'll call me up and be like, hey, by chance, are you home? And I'm like, oh, yeah, what's going on? He's like, I got a call that I could use some help on. And yeah, so I still do that. I've been doing that for 3 years. So I'll go and pick up dead bodies with him. And I mean, that's about as much physical activity as I really want to do outside of working on my truck, my pickup at home, and trying to push myself there physically, because, you know, I'm still young, so I got to get myself kind of back into better shape. But it's a very slow progression. But being an EMT for a year, you know, I ate a lot of physical injuries. I wore a 15-pound armored or a bulletproof vest, and I carried a lot of gear. So I think when I weighed myself with everything, I was like 275. And at that time, I was 250 pounds. I dropped like 30 pounds since I was an EMT. But yeah, I always find myself back in the driver's seat. That's just how it goes. I always find myself kind of back doing this, and I think this time it's going to be it. I like my company. I make good money. I work long hours, but it's not a super, tasking job. I do a little bit more than just holding the steering wheel, but, But it's good to have all you guys in here checking it out. It's always nice to have people to kind of talk to in the mornings like this, especially when I just don't get a lot of sleep at night. That was definitely last night's story. I woke up pretty quick this morning when I ripped a good chunk of skin out of my the base of my thumb, so that helped. That helped wake me up a little bit. Found out the multi-purpose knife that I have, the pliers that are on it, are pretty freaking sharp for some reason on the ends. And they didn't. Are you fucking serious, dude? You're gonna cut off the inside of me like that? Really? Really? Nice. Nice. Yeah, no, you couldn't wait for me to get over and give room for the semi behind me. You had to split between us and run up the inside. You were lucky I freaking saw you in my mirror, dude. If I would have merged over and not looked in my mirror, I would have pushed that dude right off the freaking road. No. The good news is I haven't. So the cool thing about the walking floor trailers that I run is I can make the floor go either direction. So if for some reason I did run it and I didn't have the door open, I mean, what it would do is it would put so much tension on the back door that I wouldn't be able to open it. There's 3 safety locks on the back of these doors. So to get them to pop open with pressure, I don't even want to imagine how much pressure it would take to break those locks. But I can always run the floor forward and I can compact everything to the front of the trailer and then pop the door open. If there's too much tension on the door for me to physically open it myself, usually I just have an operator come over and he'll use his front end loader and push the door against the trailer for me. Then I'll get all my safety locks off, I'll back up, and then he'll open the door with his front end loader. Because their machines are 60 to 80,000 pounds. So it's not like the door is going to spring open on him, but yeah, there's definitely times where the door has way too much tension against it for me to physically get the locks off. So the operator usually takes care of it. But yeah, if I ever ran into that, I would turn my switch so it pushed everything forward and then stop it, go open my door, and then run it backwards so it all go out. But I imagine most walking floor trailers have that option where you can run them the opposite direction. I can't say that for 100% certain. All the trailers that I run have it. The only time that nothing moves is when it's frozen. And that's either the load is frozen inside the trailer so it won't push anything out, or the trailer itself is frozen, like the hydraulic lines are frozen. Then you gotta take it in and it's got to sit overnight in a heated shop. Yeah, these Mack trailers are heavy. They're heavy trailers. It's probably the heaviest trailer I've ever had on a truck. My combination weight empty, the trailer that I'm pulling right now, I am probably 45,000 pounds. And that's my empty weight. Ooh, that's something else. Yeah, the door of my trailer is really thick. They're double wall doors, and then I have 2 safety chains and that latch on the back of the door, which is a giant, 3/4 inch bolt that holds the door shut. I could imagine, yeah, you get enough tension going against the back of them with that much in them. The amount of pressure on that door has got to be immense. I mean, I get enough pressure on that door just going down the road and having my load shift on me. And I know that because if I'm up in the cities and I slam on my brakes, I can shove like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds forward onto my drives. That's why I have to run my fifth wheel back, so I have room to move it forward if I need to stick weight up on the steers. But generally I run my steers around 10,500. Pretty much all the weight that I can run on my drives I try to, otherwise most of the weight from my loads is always on the back of them, unless for some reason I get a heavy chunk that's in the front. But I've got 40,000 pound axles for my drives, so I've got a little bit more wiggle room for weight. I kind of wish I had a pusher axle on here too, but that's all right. The pushers on the trailer usually is enough for everything I do. So I've got 60,000 pound rear on the trailer, 20,000 pound axles. And yeah, these trailers do really good. They're heavy. Oh yeah. I did not get a lot of training when I started. We were extremely short-staffed when I started, and the guy they threw me in with on the first day had only been driving for like 6 months. And so I was like, all right. So to kind of tie into this, during the summers, I work as a CDL instructor on the weekends when it's warm out. So I wound up teaching this driver that was with me, and he just kind of showed me how to operate everything, do the trailer and whatnot. And then I was pretty much cut loose and sent on my own. And everything from there, I've learned from other drivers here, or I've just kind of figured it out. But yeah, these trailers are nothing to joke with at times. Like, you open that back door and the wind catches it right. I've had my door fling me, like drag me across the back of my trailer from the wind catching it, and it's pulled me off my feet before. And I mean, I'm 230 pounds, so it's not like I'm a very light person, but yeah, they got some freaking weight to them. It's nuts. Okay, yep. This is my trailer's kind of set up like a shipping container. It's reinforced. I think I have a steel frame and then aluminum walls. I'm pretty sure is what I got. Yeah, the frickin' Mac doors, they're ridiculous. Like, they're heavy doors. And I mean, if the wind catches them, they are no frickin' joke, You really got to watch it. So like when I was going up to the landfill down in Lake Mills, Iowa, when you're up on top of the mound and you're dumping, you really got to watch it with that wind, because I've had those doors throw me. Now I've learned to just let go of the chain and let it slam, because I'm not getting my arms pulled out of sockets or my shoulders ripped out of sockets to try and stop it from slamming the trailer. I'm like, no, hell no. Like, I've got enough damage to my shoulders as is. I am not letting this thing destroy what I have left for it. They're absolutely ridiculous. I get why they're like that, but yeah. And that's all the trailers that I run, that's all I run are Mack. All my trailers except one are single tires. So I've got 20,000 pound axles on the trailer, but I'm running like dump truck steer tires. The one trailer that I have that has duals, I've got two 20,000 pound axles, and then my pusher is 16.5. So I can run. I have to run a little less with that one, but I mean, generally I don't get up above 80,000. It's kind of rare that I do. Like, we had a couple days where the compactor malfunctioned, and it's got a red light that's supposed to tell me or say when it's full and like it can't push any more weight. Yeah, it put me up to like 89,000 pounds. I mean, understandably, I can go up to 112,000 permitted, but yeah, we generally do not get over 80. It's a rarity for that to happen, and usually it's an error with the compactor. But it's a heavy setup on this truck already, so it doesn't take much to get to that 80,000. But it's awesome to have another walking floor guy in here. Well, if Minnesota did it like Iowa, essentially I would run an annual permit, and my tractor would have to be licensed for that gross weight. But how overweight works on things like this are, if the load is not like one piece, so like if you're hauling a tractor, like a big solid tractor, and you're 90,000 pounds, so it's a non-divisible load. Since the recycling that I have is divisible because I can unload some of it to get the weight back down, I can't technically get permitted to go over 80,000, even though I have the axle set up for it. And legally speaking, the only thing I don't have is the piece of paper that says I can do it. Otherwise, I have the truck for it, the trailer for it, so I could run 112,000 and be fine. I could scale it out where I'm legal on all my axles, but the gross weight would be over. If I was running a 5-axle setup, then yeah, you're talking 34,000 on the rear, 34,000 on the drives, 12,000 on the steers. But I've got 13,000 pound steers, 40,000 pound drives, and 60,000 pound trailer axle. But until they realize that recycling is heavy, it probably won't happen. Yeah, so Iowa's kind of weird. They let a lot of things fly down there if you got the right axle setup. So I've got a fuel hauler buddy of mine down there, and he runs up to 90,000, 95,000 pounds all day, every day. Because he's got a tri-axle trailer and a quad axle truck, but he only stays in Iowa. So he's got an annual permit, but it also is the type of commodity that he's hauling. So like, you know, farm equipment, guys moving livestock down there. So like in Iowa, I would probably be fine. I probably wouldn't get looked at if I was over 80,000. But the minute I cross into Minnesota, that's kind of, yeah. But Iowa's pretty lax and lenient on a lot of their stuff. You can get a lot done in Iowa, I can say that. Minnesota, I mean, I've rolled through the scale overweight before, and I don't know if they just didn't want to deal with my trailer, but I've been rolled through before, so I'm like, all right. So I'm not entirely sure what it is around here with it. I mean, I know a lot of the dump trailers for the landfill don't get screwed with too much, you know, because they stink. But for me, just hauling recycling, it's not too bad. You know, there's not a whole lot for smell other than like wet cardboard, which, it's just musty. Yeah, generally I'm not screwed with too much by DOT around here. But yeah, it's not a bad setup. I drive a decent truck. I'm in a 2016 Freightliner Coronado with a 13-speed manual, and I've got an older Detroit in here, which it does everything I need it to, but she's a little underpowered at times. I think it's pushing about 450 horse, but I mean, even when I'm empty, it has its struggles trying to climb. But it sounds good, so I guess that's a trade-off, maybe. I think I'd rather be able to climb hills a little bit efficiently, but here we are. I might be going into a dual-purpose truck before long. We're looking at putting me in a Peterbilt 579 with a, I can't remember what the rating is on those Cummins. I think it's a 525 Cummins. And the idea that we're kind of thinking is it's going to be deleted. So I don't live anywhere near the shop, and my boss doesn't want to deal with the DEF system crap. So he might delete it. I don't know. There's a few different trucks that they're trying to decide on what to do with or put me in, but they want me in a dual-purpose truck so that I can go and haul concrete powder and other things. I wish they would just put it on this truck, but unfortunately this one's getting up there in mileage, so they're either going to have to rebuild the motor or they're going to wind up selling it, but I'm not all too sure what they're going to do with it. But I do really like this truck. I've been able to do a lot to this truck. I put bullhorn exhaust tips on it. I've got my shifter extended, a different handle. I just enjoy this truck. But hopefully the next truck I go into, I've already talked to my boss about it, putting like some straight 6-inch stacks on it. I don't want super big, big 8-inch stacks on a day cab. It just, for me, the look is kind of off. without the sleeper, but yeah, there's a company out of Iowa that runs around here a lot. Poet, P-O-E-T. I'm sure they're out there too, but yeah, there's a Iowa company that runs a lot of natural gas. There's it's kind of far and few between, but we got quite a few of them that run around. We got quite a few. Otherwise, a lot of the commodity around here is fuel. A lot of fuel trucks. I mean, we got quite a few different Magellan terminals and New Star terminals around, especially around the cities. There's a few of those, but yeah, it's not a bad Monday. Could have started out better. Could have. Oh, there's my first yawn. And unfortunately, there won't be time today to take a nap, so that's gonna suck. See if I can hold it. So like right now, I'm climbing a little incline, and I just went from 72. I'm almost down to 60 right now. Like this truck just does not have a lot of top or a lot of power for pulling at higher speeds. Lower speeds it does great, and I mean I'm running a 393 gear ratio or a 390 gear ratio on the axles. You know, so it's set up pretty good for pulling, but it is not aerodynamic with the trailer at all. I mean, when I'm coming towards somebody, it looks like I'm running a cattle trailer, and the only thing that, you know, actually goes up towards the top of my trailer is my stacks. Otherwise, my day cab's a mid-roof. So anytime I'm in windstorms, crap like that, yeah, I pretty much get stuck just kind of rocking the slow lane because I can't do anything about it. So I'm hoping the next truck I go into has a little bit more power. I do like running the Detroit, but if I were to go into another Detroit like this, I would probably see about getting a turbo with an adjustable wastegate. This one doesn't have an adjustable wastegate, so I can do 29 psi on the turbo at my max. And yeah, she needs a little bit more. At least for what I do. Alright, let's see what the traffic starts doing. So, we just went past Lakeville. This is usually where the traffic will start picking up on us. It is going to be before morning rush hour, but we're still going to run into a few things up here in the cities, and the roads are going to be crap. But the good news is, we're pulling pretty good today. It's still somewhat cold out, so the motor's been running real happy. I just had the truck serviced. So she's been running pretty good lately. We're still we are in a governed truck. I can still go a little bit faster than other trucks, but for the guys that can do 70, I wind up turtle racing them. But today we're going to be trying to push our speed so we can get everything done and not push over our 16. I'm going to have to keep an eye on it today, and if I don't think I can make a third round, then I'm just going to take it home and do it tomorrow. But yeah, after this run, we got to go down to Mason City, grab my loaded, probably come back to Albert Lee, Minnesota, and swap for a different loaded trailer, come up to the cities, deliver. Oh, there's an oversize. So we'll see. We'll see what we wind up with today. As much as I want to push a third load, I kind of don't, but no, I don't really have any help for what I do, so it's, yeah. Oh, I didn't even catch it, sorry. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's a blue truck. Well, he might catch us because I can't maintain my speed, so usually those guys aren't that fast. Yeah, seriously, I could not tell you. There's a few different companies around us, Waste Management, Harders. There's a few that are just local to the cities that I see, but yeah, I'm not sure what the blue truck is. I really haven't seen those. Oh my God, I know. I feel bad for those guys. The quick trip trucks around here that pull fuel, their day cabs are CNG, and yeah, they are underpowered. It's honestly horrid how underpowered their trucks are, and they're constantly having issues. I've got a buddy that works at Peterbilt in Wisconsin, and he tells me all the time that they're working on CNG trucks a lot. They just have a lot of problems. And of course, you know, it's like a lot of trash trucks, straight trucks. There's really not too many semis that run CNG. There's a few local companies, or there's a few day cab companies that run them, but you know, it's bad when my Detroit can scream past them. That would do it. That would definitely do it. I'm kind of surprised they were looking at that motor like, yeah, that'll move a, 80,000 pound vehicle. That should work. And then they try it and they're like, wow, that really sucks, but we're still gonna do it anyways. Like, oh my God. Don't get me wrong, my truck's underpowered for certain things, but it does what it needs to do. I can still get around people if I have to, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Yeah. And when you're pushing a bigger motor with more power, you actually get better fuel mileage. I mean, to an extent, it's the same thing as like going from a 4-cylinder to a V6 in a Ford Ranger or something. Like, you give it a little more power, and the fuel mileage can actually be better because then it's not taking so much to move the damn vehicle around. That's why my truck drinks fuel. Like, most days I don't average much more than five gallons to the mile, or 5 miles to the gallon. But I am also pretty much heavy no matter what. I mean, I'm heavier than most trucks empty are when I'm empty. So it does drink a lot of fuel. And you know, I don't have DEF or anything on this truck. It's deleted, or not deleted. It was never even made with DEF, but it doesn't roll a lot of coal. I mean, I blow black smoke out of the stacks, but not like some of the higher horsepower trucks that you see doing it. It just blows out in the beginning when I take off in gear, and that's it. That's the only time I really have, you know, excess diesel coming out. Sorry, we're on this hill, so you're gonna hear my jakes going down it. This is kind of a steep one. During the day when there's traffic, this hill is freaking horrible going down it. All these merge points, people coming on off these 25-mile-an-hour ramps. Since it's early, I can run it, you know, 65 like I do, but during the day, I'm usually going down this hill at like 50, 55, just so I don't smash into the back of somebody. And they've been doing construction here forever, so there's also that. But traffic's fairly light, so we should be doing pretty good here this morning. We should be able to hammer through pretty good. So this truck does have mufflers. There's just nothing inside of them. But it's got mufflers on it. I mean, they identify as mufflers, you know? Like, they just don't do anything to keep it quiet. So every morning when I leave my house, I have to idle my truck out of the neighborhood so I don't wake up any of my neighbors. Same thing with my pickup, my dually. I've got 4-inch straight pipe off the turbo down to a 5-inch tip. And yeah, if I leave my house in the morning and that thing, same thing. I got to idle out of the neighborhood. I actually went to all my neighbors' houses to check if I wake them up or anything with the truck in the mornings. And so far, I don't wake any of my neighbors up. My kid has finally gotten used to my truck, so she doesn't wake up anymore from it. My wife has been able to sleep through it now, which is great, because that was a problem for a while there. My wife was getting really pissed off, but that was the other reason I put the taller exhaust tips on, was to try and put the sound higher, because before, the 5-inch bullhorns that were on here came off right at the top of the cab, and I mean, it was just noise at that point, you know? I couldn't even hear myself think. It's still fairly loud, but it's definitely a lot better than what it was. And these tips just look a lot better. They're 5-inch to 6.5-inch openings. But we are up in the Twin Cities. we'll get up here, get up on the scale, kind of see what everything's looking like. I'm guessing we're gonna have 2 trucks ahead of us by the time we get there. That's usually what happens if you don't get there at 3:30 in the morning, or the place opens at 5, but people start lining up there around 4. And generally I get up there at 3:30, but lately I can't really push myself to get up at 1:30 yet. By the way, to my other walking floor guy, if you are ever looking for a good fridge for your truck, I will put a link to the one that I have in here. It's a little big for the passenger seat, just gonna throw that out there, but it does one hell of a job. Like, I have it set so it keeps my Mountain Dew just below the freezing point, and it'll turn my my Mountain Dew into slushies, and it's so good. My water will usually have some ice in it. It takes up a lot of space, don't get me wrong, but it is nice to kind of have in here. Gotta slow our speed down. I don't think they changed this yet to 65, so. Oh, come on, dude. Don't match my speed. Really? Hate that. Just trying to pass this guy, and he's matching my speed right now. Yeah, yep. When it's below like 10 degrees, I plug the truck in. Anything below 10 degrees, I plug the truck in. But now that we're back up, I don't really have to. But yeah, I'll definitely plug my truck in to keep the oil nice and warm. I just plug it right into my house. Oh, you're good. Nope, it actually runs off a 12, it actually runs right off a cigarette lighter, which is kind of impressive. I mean, it draws, Jesus, dude, that guy's flying. It does draw a lot of juice, but I mean, for my semi, it's not much. Like, everything operates just fine. I can leave it plugged in over the weekend and it's fine. I just can't leave it for more than like a Saturday and Sunday. So if I'm going to be out of my truck longer than, 2 days, I unplug it. But I don't really keep food in there right now. I just haven't really stocked up anything lately. Seriously, dude, I tried to pass this guy, and he did that. Now he's gonna go the same speed. Like, I can't just up my speed like that, dude. I can't make this thing go faster. Plus, we're about to hit the curves, so I gotta slow down anyways, I guess. Which means he'll probably pass me. Yep, there he goes. So now I guess we'll get over. Well, I can tell the trailer's packed pretty full right now because I'm not feeling anything shift back there. Which, I guess that's better than, taking a curve at 60 and feeling my trailer kick to one side a little bit. Or jamming on my brakes and, Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'd be pissed about the fridge. Yeah, when you got a good setup in your truck, day cab or over the road, you know, you can make it pretty nice. My over the road truck, I had a really nice setup for a fridge, and my passenger seat could rotate around and turn into a recliner. Like, that was nice. Yeah. Yeah, the mornings are nice up here. If you can get up here before rush hour, it is definitely smooth sailing. Makes for a big difference. The next 2 times I come up here, it's going to be heavy traffic. I bet he was. I would have been too. I would have been like, are you shitting me? Is my fridge okay? And then, he's like, no. Damn it! You just lose. I would lose my mind. I'd be even more pissed if there's drinks in it. Because it's like, because I store water in my fridge, and usually I'll get a 12-pack and store that in here, and it's just like, man. Hey, buddy, welcome in, John. So funding-wise, I mean, you got a couple different options with that. So if you find a school that has a like a student loan ability to do it, that would be a good option. It just sucks having to pay that back because those programs, most of them aren't very cheap. Your other option would be to go through a company that would be willing to help or even cover the schooling. Those are kind of the 2 main options that you really have. The third option, I mean, which is the hardest, is saving up and doing it yourself, but some of the programs just they're not cheap. So like here in Minnesota, the schooling that we have, the program is $6,000. It's a lot. I don't quite grasp why it's that high. I'm guessing it's because the school just wants to make money. I mean, like in hindsight, I get that, but it's kind of hard to justify, paying that, right? Ooh, that's a steep price. Wow. Shoot, man. Yeah, I could see why you're having a little bit of trouble with funding for that. Good Lord. Yeah, that's true too. Yep. There's definitely companies like that will get you rolling and can definitely help. Okay, yeah. So basically your option is going to be to find a company you can get in with that you might have to tough it out for a couple years with them. A lot of companies that pay for schooling or help with it, what they do is they'll have you do a contract that says, if we train you, we get you your CDL, then you have to stay with us for X amount of years, which it does suck, but in the grand scheme of things, it's better than trying to fund it on your own. Yeah, that honestly, man, that might be the option that you kind of have to go through. Yeah, ever since they did it sucks. Yeah, that would be the option, John. That would be the honest answer I'd have for you is find a company you can bed down with for a couple years and get your CDL through them, get your experience. And if you like it enough, stay. If you don't, move on to something bigger and better. But yeah, there are a lot of trucking companies that would do it. I would just kind of watch for the bigger name companies like Swift, Schneider. I would kind of avoid some of those. Big companies aren't bad, but there's just reputations that they tend to carry. So, everybody's got to get their start somewhere. So if you don't want to go over the road right away and you want to stay more local, then I would start with sorry, I had a yawn. I would look around local to you, and some of the bigger companies that do different things instead of just dry box would probably be a little more beneficial. The thing about getting into the industry, starting out, I mean, it's not bad to go to where you're hauling a dry van and whatnot, but if you want to come into it and get some different experience right out of the gate, then yeah, a trash company would be perfect for that. More than likely, you can get your Class A. If they say they'll put you through for your Class B, I would kind of fight a little bit about getting your Class A right out of the gate, simply because if you get your Class B and then you decide that you want to get your Class A, you have to go back through school to get it. And it's a lot of crap. So maybe look for landfill companies that are hiring day cab drivers. The work isn't bad. Some days you just got to put up with it. Or, construction companies that need people to move flatbeds, do chaining and rigging. It depends on what kind of work you want to get into. Do you want more physical work? Do you want to just drive more? If you really don't know, then honestly, man, I just start out with something and see how it rolls. That's kind of the thing about the driving industry, is just figuring out what you want to do with it. And I mean, honestly, it'll change as you go down the road. One day you'll wake up and you'll be like, man, I really want to do something else. And then boom, just remember that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it looks like it is, but most of the time it's turf. Oh yeah, MBI. Yeah, we got those guys around here. Yeah, MBI would probably be a decent place to start out at, in all honesty. They're a big company, but they're not like a Swift or a Schneider or JB Hunt. They're not set up like that. You are probably going to be more of a cog in the machine, don't get me wrong. That's just how a lot of bigger companies operate. But I mean, if you don't mind it, honestly, man, it ain't bad. Hey, you never know, man. I didn't think I was going to be up in Canada playing on the ice roads at one point in my life. I never thought I was going to back a truck onto a ferry either. I did that up in Canada a few times. I got to go across the St. Lawrence River on a freaking ferry with my truck underneath the boat, like, or the ship. It was, this industry will test you in many different ways. That's why I advocate for going through like a really good training program for driving, just because learning on the fly can be really difficult, and you know, there's quite a few mistakes that if you make are going to be very detrimental to you and others in this industry. So you just got to see what's out there, man. Hey, I totally believe you. I 100% understand it. You know, it just sucks that the industry's not like what it was back in the day. You know, it's a lot harder to kind of get into it, and you know, and the companies are a little more strict. Usually it's the insurance companies that do it. That's usually what causes a lot of the hiring issues, is the insurance companies. Like, that's why companies will say, oh, you got to have, you know, 2 years of experience, and, you know, flatbed experience is preferred, yada, yada. Oh, they're not open yet. Crap, it must be before 5. All right, well, we got to find a spot here. So, yeah, I would look around at different types of trucking. Flatbed, step deck, Conestoga. And I mean, if they're a decent company, they'll put you through the training to do everything correctly. I started out hauling milk. That's another one you can get into. Just be cautious as a new driver. Ask lots of questions. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, man. Just plain and simple. It's going to be kind of a pain in the ass getting started. But yeah, everybody deserves a fair shot. You know, they do. Oh, it looks like we got here right on time. We're just hitting the scale, so perfect. Yeah, man, you know, I would recommend looking around on YouTube. There's plenty of driving channels on here. Look at some of the other types of work that people do, you know, like car haulers, you know, flatbed people, oversized people that, you know, oversized loads, not people, my bad. And just, you know, check out, see if that's something you think you'd like to do, you know. The thing is, you just won't know until you do it. So that's kind of what I would recommend. What is the tailgate on the trailer in front of you? Nope, not a Tommy gate. So it's kind of the same setup. It's just, yeah, these Mack trailers here are really reinforced. Hey, buddy, sounds good. Reach out anytime you need help or you got questions. If I don't know an answer, I'm sure I can find somebody that does. It's kind of a compactor trailer. So when we get loaded from a compactor that, you know, it compacts the load into our trailer. Yeah, he might have a dual setup here. Yeah, he does. So he's got 2 doors. He's got a small door and then the big door that opens. The small door, I take it, is when he's on the building. That's how they, you know, that's how they pack it in at first. And then the big door is when he unloads. But yeah, my trailers don't have that. My trailers are all one solid door. Yeah, there's 2 MBI guys here right now, actually. And then me and this guy. So I'll be here for probably 30-40 minutes before I get in to unload. Hopefully we're not too heavy today. Well, yeah, we're a little heavy. It ain't too bad. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to scale in, and I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second. All right, we got scaled in. We're let's do this. Hold on a second. So today, I probably shouldn't have put fuel in this morning. Oops. Probably shouldn't have put fuel in today. I could have held on to that, but yeah, there's a lot of different setups around here for the compactors, how they do it, how they load. So I think I have, I think I've got a video of my trailer on a door in the compactor and what it looks like. Hold on 1 second. I gotta get back into place here. Oh, backing in the dark. Where the hell are we at? Ah, alright, there we go. There's the scale. Sending the trailer over. Where am I at? Can't see shit. There we go. Yeah, so when I get parked up here, we'll get out. I'll show you my trailer, kind of the setup that I got going on back there. We got to flip up my axles anyways, or flip up my pusher axle, and we'll undo the door a little bit. All right, let's go take a little journey, shall we? Nope. So, well, kinda. The compactor doesn't actually put the recycling in bundles. It literally just takes it loose and shoves it in the trailer. So here is what we're pulling. So you can kind of see it's set up like a container. You know, this reinforced aluminum. I'm pretty sure it's sitting on a steel frame. But the trailers I run are 53 feet with 3 axles. Morning, Shooting Star. Welcome in. So let's see here. We'll do my lift axle and we'll unlock my trailer. So on my door, so it's just, my trailers are one solid door that flip open. And for the locking mechanisms, so I've got a pneumatic safety lock that just basically pulls the door shut, pulls it tight. So undo that right now. And then I've got a safety handle here with a chain hooked onto it. And then for the third, I've got this. And that's really what holds it all together in there. But I mean, you can kind of see, looks like we had some move to the back door a little bit. But they're heavy trailers. I mean, like, this back end, you know, this is reinforced. This is all just solid steel back here. And then there's the pin that, it's hard to see, but there's the pin that locks the, there we go. So that pin is what locks it onto the building. And then their compactor just pushes everything on to the trailer. But yeah, sorry, I'm not a good camera person, but I'll show you the truck real quick. It is messier than hell inside, and unfortunately both my hands are kind of screwed up right now, so I can't really do anything with it. In fact, I gotta check to see if my thumb's still bleeding, but nice cab lights. And here's the truck. So those are the bullhorn tips that I put on here. Yeah, not too bad of a setup. Oh. Sorry, I am definitely my age today. Oh, so we're going to be sitting up here for a little bit. What I need to do here this morning yet is I'm going to have to rewrap my thumb and see what that's looking like. I've got metal in my other hand I got to pull out. It's been a weekend, I can say that. If you saw my video yesterday, so I finally got to start working on my side project, my pickup, and I'm remaking the front bumper, the back bumper. I kind of broke the brush guard because I was trying to use it to pull. Not a good idea. And then yeah, yesterday I got my plasma cutter all set up, and then I realized that I need an acetylene tank. And I was like, all right, well, that's not going to happen right now. So I took a 7-inch grinder cutting wheel on a big, beefy, like 1970s solid grinder. And I mean, that freaking thing had so much torque. Like, every time it would grab and try to pull, it almost ripped itself out of my hands a few times. Like, my forearms were dead after that. I cut off a 20-inch wide slab, which I think was about 75 pounds worth, and I'm just kind of taking chunks out of that for things. I've got a lot of projects going right now, and yeah, I'm gonna be pretty limited on time. So yesterday I started at like 9 a.m. and I didn't stop till 5:30 or something, just straight working on crap all day. And then I wound up doing the tailgate. I don't know why I decided to start doing that. I mean, I guess I'm glad I did, even though it's a little much. I used logging chain to hold my tailgate. At least I know that it should do a good job. But outside of that, Shooting Star, it is great to have you in here, man. I am just waiting on the hats to get in, and I got something else, a little extra for you that I'm going to send. I think you've been following me long enough that you'll know what it is when it gets to you. But I'm pretty sure you'll be excited for it. So it'll be that and a hat. Here, I'll show you here real quick. I think I got it in here. Pretty sure I do. I got way too much shit in here today. Let me see where it's at here, buddy. Hold on. I know it's in here. So, do you remember this? The shifter that I had made and snapped off when I got cut off up in the cities, and now it's just a piece of wood. I'm not going to reuse it as a shifter, so I think if you would like it, I'll send this with as a little memento. I personally handmade this, stained it, sanded it, and I'm not going to do anything with it at this point. It's not going back on as a shifter. I mean, I've got this for my shifter now. So I figure if it's something that you would enjoy, I'll send that to you with a hat when they come in. Should be this week or the following. I should have 5 of the hats in, and then I have another 5 on the way in a different color, because apparently the color that I originally ordered is no longer a thing. So, but that's what I got set up for you in my mind for kicking it out to you. Something that well, I think you deserve it, man. I mean, you're always positive, and you know, you're in a lot of my live streams, you're on my videos and stuff, so you know, I think it's worth it to send it to you. Outside of that, yeah, we're gonna be sitting up here for a hot second. We'll get out of here, and then we're gonna go all the way down to Mason City and grab my loaded trailer down there, and then I gotta figure out if I'm gonna deliver that one right away or not. I don't quite know yet, but either way, we're gonna be trucking all day, so I'll definitely be doing more live streams as I go today. For everybody in here, I greatly appreciate having you guys in here checking it out, riding with me this morning. It helps me a lot because yeah, the Monday mornings are usually the worst because I just don't get a lot of sleep. This weekend I did not get a lot of sleep. My kid was sick, so I had her all day Friday. She slept on me Friday night, Saturday night, just not feeling good, and yeah, it definitely wiped out my sleep. So last night I didn't sleep for shit either, but here we are, still doing it. Yeah, of course, Shooting Star, anytime, man. You know, I like having you in here. You're a good dude. No, I gotta check that out. Is it up on your channel? 'Cause I definitely gotta check that out. Ooh. Ooh. No, I'll definitely have to check that out, man. Actually, I'll check it out right now when I jump off here in a second. But for everybody in here, thank you so much, Shooting Star. It's always good to see you, buddy. I'll probably do another live when I get back up to the Twin Cities later. I'm guessing it's going to be closer to noon. Yeah, she's better. Her fever broke probably sometime Saturday. It finally broke, and she just was kind of down and out, trying to recover from it. So she's doing all right now. Yeah, sorry to hear that your sister's sick. There's something that's been going around, and it's been kicking people down pretty good. Hopefully I don't get sick. That's usually I get sick when my daughter's sick, for obvious reasons, but hopefully we're in and getting unloaded here soon, and then we'll be getting out of here and moving, and we'll do a another live stream when we get back up to the Twin Cities today. I'll probably start it maybe a good half hour before I get up to the Twin Cities. That way, whoever's in here and wants to check it out can. Better use a lower gear so I don't rock the truck so much. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be in unloading, getting out of here. Pulling forward. Trying not to scrape the curb. Alright. Nice, dude. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm sure that's a setup. I don't know if it'll be cloudy today or not, but if it is, I'll try to reach you on channel 40 and see if I can't get that to operate. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna jump off here. Hopefully I get in soon. I gotta rewrap this thing up a little bit, make sure that well, either that or see if I need to just let it air out and go from there. But you all have a great day. Thank you so much for checking it out, tuning in. We'll be cruising again here soon, and I'll make sure to send a message out before I go live again. That way, if you guys want to jump in, check out with the cities, we can do that. But yep, I got another driver coming over. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. See you soon.